so glad you have joined us for today's Drawing for Kids video brought to you by the Ann Arbor District Library and the Ann Arbor Arts Center. Today we are going to be drawing Romero Britto inspired design. So here are some examples of his work. He is a Brazilian artist, and you would probably consider him to be a pop artist with his really bright and bold colors and patterns. So grab a pencil to start with, and then we'll use markers later for adding some color. But to start, you're going to pick some kind of subject matter. So you can see here a plant, a teddy bear, a heart, perhaps a star, a butterfly, whatever design you want to be your focal point. Keep it kind of simple, I would say, if you haven't done this before, because then you can create a background that's a little bit more complex. That could be a whole little scene, like that little beach wave scene that you just saw, or you could just draw lines that kind of cut either through your object or behind your object by going around rather than overlapping on top of your object, your focal point. It's up to you how you want to do it, what kind of design you want to create. You can of course do a couple different versions to practice. So I am going to use this plant drawing here as my final instead of the other versions. The other versions hopefully were helpful just to see the different options. Now, like the artist that we're looking at, you can see how in those examples that I shared before with his work, there were a lot of patterns, polka dots and stripes and zigzags, all of course filled with color. So you don't have to necessarily fill in every single section with some kind of pattern, but you do want to try to fill in, some of the sections, if not most, with a nice pattern. So a pattern is anytime you take some kind of line or shape or design and repeat it. So you can see that I've got little spirally shapes, flowers, stripes, hearts, polka dots, etc. So after you get done with that, of course it will take some time, then you can start to add color. So like Romero Britto, you want to add lots of bright, bold colors. So start with one or two colors and start filling it in throughout your artwork. Now, a lot of times in these examples, in each section, we'll see, a pattern that's striped, for example, and it'll be like a light orange and a dark orange, okay? And then maybe in another section, the little hearts are filled in with light purple, and then the background is a dark purple. So you can kind of consider how you might use color in that way. You don't have to do that color combination of light and dark. You can also just create, high contrast like purple and yellow, or some other color combination of your choice. But that is one approach of doing the light version of a color and a dark version of a color. Depends kind of what markers or whatever you have. If you have colored pencils, you can also use a combination of colored pencils and markers. It's totally up to you how you want to color it in and with what materials. But if you're limited to only 8 or 10 markers, you might not have the option to do a light blue and a dark blue, for example. But doing something like red and orange, like you see here, could be a great similar approach, just because those colors are close to each other. If you think about the order of the rainbow, we go red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. So red and orange are right next to each other in our rainbow, so we can use that for inspiration there to create something that's kind of similar but still a little bit different. Here you can also see how I have used the light blue and dark blue, as well as a light yellow and darker yellow. And of course, be careful as you're coloring it in to make sure you stay within your lines. Really practice, outlining a section before starting to fill it in. Now, Once you have finished coloring everything, you can add a black outline to trace over everything. That's one thing that the artist does, is add a black outline. I hope you have a lot of fun drawing this work of art today.